Hi, thanks for joining me. This is Alene, obviously, and I'm a jewelry designer. This is the second video about turquoise. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the colors of turquoise and how you can tell the difference. Basically, turquoise is mined with copper, and so the more copper it has in it, the bluer it gets. So for example, this one right here, which is very blue from a Nevada mine, this is definitely mined with a lot of copper. The other element that you find often in turquoise is iron. And the more iron that's in it, what's going to happen is it's going to get greener. So, for example, this piece right here, you can see, here's another one. Those are both with more iron in them. And what's interesting is the Tibet people, first of all, they consider turquoise their national stone, but it's only the really greenish color of the turquoise that they consider the national stone. Interesting. They also considered a protective stone, and a lot of ancient civilizations considered turquoise as a protective stone. You'll see it a lot in, like we mentioned, the bow and arrow process last time. We also know that the Navajos used it, for example, to bring rain. They'd throw turquoise bits into the water and believed that it would help them bring rain. So turquoise just has a colorful and interesting history. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about was the porousness of turquoise. By that I mean it's very fragile, and porous means it's got lots of holes is really kind of the wrong way to say it, but it's very susceptible to all kinds of things that can happen to it in the elements. This one, for example, you can kind of see this is a piece that nothing has been done to, and it was a bead. It is a bead. And you can see it's not too bad on the top, but the rest of it has started to even crumble. That's because nothing has really been done with it. What's happened is the people that mine the turquoise, and then ultimately the people who create cabochons for jewelry and beads, use a couple of processes to help maintain the beauty of the turquoise. Stabilization is, and it's still considered natural turquoise, stabilization is basically used in two ways. One, you can see the back of this one and the back of several of these others here. That's an actual resin that they've adhered to the back of the turquoise, and that helps to stabilize it. And then I'm able to use it in the jewelry pieces and know that it's going to be good. The other thing that is my favorite is the resin. They actually coat it with resin, and what that does is it completely protects it, basically. This ring, for example, that I designed, you can see how shiny it is, but also it's very smooth on the top. Now the advantage to this is that it's never going to change its color. It's always going to look like this. 30, 40, 50, 60 years from now, this ring is going to look the same. And I prefer to use that kind of a stabilization as far as the gems that I use. The other process is actually using an oil of some sort, and then also crushing up some quartz into the oil, into a process, and then they kind of seep it into the different pieces. Now, this, for example, is one that I purchased these from somebody who was going out of business, and these are beads. These are turquoise beads. I wanted you to see the difference between this one, which is very deep, and of course that means it has a lot of copper in it. And let's see if I can show you the difference here of this one. They're both from the same batch, and these were actually treated with those oils. And you can see how the color has already started to fade. I mean, it was this beautiful blue, still a deep blue, but a beautiful blue, and now it's kind of looking muddy. And the muddiness is actually from the oils, it's not from the turquoise. But over time, it's going to do that. Still a beautiful piece, but it's just not my thing. I prefer to use it the other way. So that just gives you an idea of some of the things that happen with turquoise. I hope you've enjoyed this. This is the second in the series. There will be one or two more. So if you subscribe, you'll be able to make sure you get the other two. Thanks for joining me.